Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to be teaching us how to make a straight dart bustier. Yes, I'm going to be teaching us the easiest and safest method on how to make a straight dart bustier without error. So I want you guys to make sure you watch the video to the end and make sure you don't skip it. Make sure you like this video and make sure you share it with your friends, guys. If you have not bought our book, the book we just published last year, The Perfect Dress Cutting Guide, I want you guys to make sure you do so. Thanks and may God bless you. So in order to draft our straight dart bustier, we actually need the measurement, which as you guys can see, this is the measurement. So we are going to be using it to draft it from beginning to the end, guys.
So the first thing you do normally, whenever you want to cut, is for you to fold. You understand? You fold with your highest circumference divided by 4 plus extra 5 to 10 inches, depending on what you are making. So in this case, the highest circumference here is 36 inches. So 36 inches divided by 4 is going to be giving us 9 inches. So that 9 inches plus 5 is going to be giving us 14 inches. So it means that we have to fold 14 inches. Are you saying it? It means that we have to fold 14 inches this way. Look at it, fold it and keep it this way. But there's something about what we are making. We are making a corset bustier, and in most cases we usually use our pattern paper to make it. Do you understand? So that means even if you are not folding, there is no need of folding. You can just use your pattern paper this way, so as for you not to waste your pattern paper. Do you understand? Whatever you get here, you are still going to use it and place in your fabric and they cut, thereby adding half inch allowance on all sides. So first of all, this is our measurements. We have a shoulder of 14 inches. We have bust length of 10 inches. That is from shoulder to nipple point, and the circumference of the bust is 35 inches. So we have under bust length of 13 inches and under bust circumference of 30 inches. And we have a waist length of 16 inches and a waist circumference of 29 inches. So we have the blouse length, which is 22 inches, and we have the blouse hip, that is the circumference of where the blouse stops, that is 36 inches. Okay, so next thing we are going to be doing now is we are going to be marking out the vertical measurements. Do you understand? So what are the vertical measurements? Vertical measurement is from shoulder to the bust length, from shoulder to the under bust, from shoulder to the waist length, and from shoulder to the blouse length. So let's do that, guys. So from shoulder to the bust point is 10 inches. But there's something I really want to teach us here. As we are marking 10 inches, please put extra half inch. Now this half inch is going to make it 10.5. Now what is this half inch for? Is you guys already know that whenever you're making a dress, you need half inch to close your shoulder part. Do you understand? So that, let's say for example now, the under bust is 10, under bust length is 10. I did not put extra half, making it 10.5. When you finish making your dress, you notice that your bust here is no longer going to be from shoulder to the under bust is no longer going to be 10, rather it's going to be 9.5. So if not taking care, you notice that your bust here is not going to be reaching at where it's supposed to stop. Do you understand? So that's why you need to put extra half inch to every of your vertical measurements. So let's do that. 10.5. Okay, make sure you mark it out into 2. Are you saying it? I'm marking it out into 2 to get the 10.5 again. Now the reason why we're marking it out into 2 is that most cases when you mark only one, you might end up making a mistake and keeping your rule like this. Are you seeing? When you keep it like this, you now get a line that is not straight. So marking it out into 2 helps you get a very straight horizontal line like this. Are you saying it? Okay, so this is the bust length. So let's get to the under bust length. The under bust length is 13 inches. So you don't just mark 13 inches, you mark 13.5. So make sure you get the second point, 13.5. Okay, so let's get the waist point. The waist point is 16 inches, that is 16.5. So let's get it again, 16.5. So the blouse length, which is 22. Are you saying it? Please, depending on the dress you are making, you can go ahead to add extra 2 inches allowance for hemming. Do you understand? But if you're making a dress that doesn't need much allowance for hemming, you already know what to do. Is that you add half or even leave it that way. Do you understand? So for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches. Okay, 22 plus 2 inches, which is 24. So now we have gotten, all we need to do is to take our thread rule and connect all of them. Okay, so now that we have connected them, now I want to show you guys what we have here. This is the shoulder line. Are you seeing it? This is the bust length, this is the under bust length, and this is the waist length, This one is the blouse length. Okay, blouse length. And this is the hemming allowance, yeah, or folding allowance. So guys, the next thing we are going to be doing now is to get our bust span. Hope you guys know what bust span is. Bust span can also be called the nipple to nipple. That is the distance from the left nipple to the right nipple, vice versa from the right nipple to the left nipple. So for a bust of 35, the bust span is supposed to be how many inches? Okay, so 7 inches. So as you guys know, this material is more like folded into 2 bars, so we have to divide the 7 by 2. So 7 divided by 2 is how many? 3.5. So guys, I want you to make sure you take this 3.5, make sure you take it all the way down. 3.5, take it all the way down. This is actually the bust span. I know in most cases we usually add extra ½ inch. Do you understand? But whenever you're using a pattern paper, don't bother yourself about adding extra ½ inch. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, when you are placing it on your material, you are still going to add that ½ inch on the material. Is that well understood? Okay, so now let's continue. So use your rule and connect, guys. Use your rule and they connect. Okay, so after you are done connecting, the next thing you need to do for me now is you need to construct the bustier itself. Remember I said this is a straight dart bustier first. Do you understand? So let's construct the straight dart bustier. And whenever you want to construct a bustier is all about the darts. I used to say you need the upper dart and you need the lower dart. The upper dart is the dart at the shoulder line, while the lower dart is the dart at the underbust length line. Do you understand? Okay, now for a bust of 35, what are we going to be using for the darts in order to form the bustier? How many? Okay, now when you say 1, it means 1 on each side. Do you understand? That means total of how many? 2 inches. Okay, so let's do that. So let's go to the upper side and mark out 1 inch. From here you mark out 1 inch, then from here you mark out 1 inch. Okay, then let's go to the underbust length side. From here you mark out 1 inch, and from here you mark out 1 inch, making it a total of how many? 2 inches. So next thing we need to do is to connect like this. Please make sure you connect like from here down to the nipple points. Are you seeing it? Then from here down to where again? Nipple points. Okay, so when you are done doing it like this, you also need to connect from here to here, from here to here. You can do that using your free hands. Do you understand? You can do that using your cuff set, or you can also do that using your broomstick. So whichever one you want to use, that is okay by me. So let's continue, guys. Okay, so let me use my broomstick to do it. Look at it. Are you guys seeing it? So let's also do the same thing this side. Are you guys seeing it here? Okay, so the next thing you need to do is to take down your darts. Do you understand? Take down your darts. You guys remember what I taught you guys in the previous class? Normally you're supposed to use how many? 1 inch all the way down. Do you understand? I told you guys when to use 1 inch all the way down, and also I taught you when to reduce it. Okay, so use 1 inch all the way down this way. 1 inch all the way down. All the way down. So look at it. Are you seeing it? You do like this. Look at it. Let me teach you guys. Okay. Are you seeing it here? Okay, now let me teach you guys something. This side is the side when we are cutting we have to remove it. I've taught you guys that you can go ahead also not to use 1 inch here. You can go ahead to use ½ inch here, go ahead to use ½ inch here. Do you understand? Thereby when you are marking out this particular line, it's not going to be straight, rather it's going to be coming towards this side. But all these things are dependent on the shape which we have here around the hip region. Do you understand? Or it's also dependent on the shape of the person's tummy. If the person's tummy is big in a way that it can't be controlled by marking it out straight like this, do you understand? That is when you can also go ahead to use your half. Do you understand? So as to make accommodations for the stomach. Do you understand? If the hip is too big such that when you finish drafting it, it's looking so awkward by the side, you can also go ahead to do that. But the person have an average or a typical shape such that the hip is moderate and there is no stomach, the person has flat tummy, you can go ahead and just mark it straight this way. Is that well understood? Okay. So next thing we are going to be doing now is we are going to be marking out our shoulder, stroke the neck and armhole. Do you understand? That is what we are going to be doing. But in order to start that first, look at it. In order to start that, there's something we are going to be doing. We are going to be joining from here down to here. Do you guys understand? We are going to be joining from here down to here. So in order for you to do it, you can use your scissors and cut it out, or you can also go ahead to fold it out. Now look at it. Connect the two darts. That is the meaning of this. Connect the two darts. So use your tape like this. Are you seeing it? And hold it. The essence of this is to close the dart so that when you impute your shoulder measurement, it will not, like this dart won't take it. Do you understand? That is the essence of this. So let's continue, guys. So now there's something I'm going to be teaching you when you are making a straight dart bustier, and that thing is very, very important. Now look at this. Now did you guys notice something around here? Do you guys notice that here is wider than here? Are you seeing it? Here is actually wider than here. And let me teach you guys something. If you want to impute your shoulder measurement on a straight dart bustier, that is my experience. If you want to don't start from here. Do you guys understand? The reason why I say you shouldn't start from here is because I've gotten so much experiences that when I start from here, at the end of the day, when I finish making my dress, I now notice that my neck or shoulder is now wider. Do you understand? Instead of my, let's say I use 14 inches as my shoulder, I will end up seeing something like 17 inches, 18 inches, which is so wide and big. Thereby, if you want to correct it, you might end up messing up your dress, because obviously the neck will also be wider. So in order to do that, whatever, how do I say it? Whichever kind of neck you want to make, see what I mean. Let's say now I want to use a round neck. Do you understand? And the depth of my round neck is 4 inches. Are you seeing it? Look at it. 4 inches. It means that I'm going to start measuring my shoulder from that 4 inches. Let me repeat it. Wherever your depth neck is stopping is where you measure your shoulder measurement. Do you understand? Is where you place it. So now my shoulder measurement is 14. So I'm marking it from here. Are you seeing it? 14. Are you seeing it? That is it. Now there's something you can go ahead to put extra half inch, but even if you still don't put extra half inch, like I said it already, there's something about a straight dart bustier that the shoulder most cases wants to always increase. You understand? So even if you don't put extra half inch, it's all good. Do you understand? But for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm going to go ahead to put it. Okay, so next thing we are about doing now is to draw a straight line. Are you seeing it? Draw a straight line like this. Okay, now you have drawn a straight line. Next thing we need to do is to slope the shoulder. You guys know why we are sloping the shoulder? You must slope the shoulder because I have never seen any individual that the shoulder is not slanted in any way. Do you understand? Shoulder is slanted from the neck down to the tip of the shoulder. So in order to do that, remember I said from the neck, and we have our standard neck width. Standard neck width is how many? 3 inches. And if you look at this, from here to here is approximately almost 3. Do you understand? So we are going to be slanting from here. But in order for you to slant, you have to first of all slope by how many? 1 inch. Okay, so look at it. Are you guys seeing it? Okay, now I want to make this thing clear. You don't slope from wherever your neck width stops. You don't do that. Sometimes it will work for you, sometimes it will not work for you. That is why when some persons slope from wherever their neck width stops, at the end of the day, they now start noticing that their neck is moving out from the neck down to the shoulder. Do you understand? And they want to shape it. This is because they did not start their neck sloping from the standard neck width, which is 3 inches or 2.5. Do you understand? They started it from wherever their neck width stops. So make sure you don't do that in order to avoid those such errors. So next thing we are going to be doing now is, now we have sloped, let's form the armhole itself. So in order for you to form the armhole, you guys should remember whatever your shoulder divided by 2 plus half is, that is what your armhole length is going to be. Do you understand? And our own is how many? 7.5. So make sure you mark out 7.5. After you are done doing that, please make sure you mark out a horizontal line. Okay, so now that we have done it, Next thing we are going to be doing now is we are going to form the armhole curve. In order to form the armhole curve, here that the two lines are meeting, both the horizontal and the vertical, using both the vertical and horizontal, make sure you place your tape like this diagonally and mark out how many? 1 inch. Are you seeing it? Now get the midpoint from here down to here. We have 7.5. That means the midpoint is supposed to be 3.75. Are you seeing it? So next thing you are going to do is to draw out your armhole curve. In order to do that, it's very simple. Take your curve or whatever you want to use and draw the curve. Take it and place, then do the curve direct this way. Are you seeing it? Okay, there's something else remaining. It is not compulsory at this time, but I have to do it in order to show us, and that is called the armhole effect. Do you understand? This armhole effect, another name for it is armhole darts. What is the essence of this? I'm imputing this. We do it so as to make sure the armhole region is relaxed and okay. Sometimes you notice that so many persons, their armhole region is squeezed and rumpled. So in order to avoid that, make sure you apply the armhole effect. So now in order to apply it, remember we already have the midpoint. Are you seeing it? So from this midpoint, make sure you step back with 1/2 inch to 3/4. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using 3/4. Are you seeing it? Okay, so when you are done doing that, you now have this point, you have this point, and you have this point. You have to connect it with your curve. So in order to do that, I'll be working with my broomstick. Are you seeing it? Then you connect it down to here. This is the armhole effect. So now that we are done with this, next thing we are going to do is we are going to construct the neck. And you know, for you to construct the neck, you need what we call the neck block. What is the neck block? As it sounds, the neck block is neck width and the neck depth. So the neck width you want is dependent on you or dependent on the design which your customer gave to you. Do you understand? So when you look at the picture, you see how wide the neck is. So that is what will help you to choose the kind of neck width you need. Let's say for the sake of this particular tutorial, the neck width which we are going to be using is how many? 4 inches neck width. Are you seeing it? And the neck depth is how many? 4 inches. Are you seeing it? Now look at why we call it neck block. Look at it. When you have the neck width, are you seeing it? Then you have the neck depth. It forms a what? A block. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do now is the same thing we did here in order to form the curve. That is what we are going to do here. You understand? But if you notice what we did here, we use how many? 1 inch diagonally. In this case, whenever you are making anything that is wide or canoe neck, you don't use 1 inch. You use from 1.5 to 2 inches. So for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm going to be using 1.5. Are you seeing it? So next thing you need to do is to connect with your curve. Now let's connect, guys. Okay, are you guys seeing it? It's coming out very, very well. Are you seeing it? Okay, so the next thing we need to do now, right now, is to impute the circumference of our blouse. Do you understand? So let's start from the bust to impute the circumference. Let's start from the bust. So there's something I want to teach you guys. You can either start from the bust. Are you seeing it? You can either start from the bust like this, or you can start from the upper bust, that is the chest line. Are you seeing it? Either way, it's very much correct. So let's do something. Let me start from the chest line this way. So I can still impute my bust measurement from the chest line. That is what I mean. So let's say the bust is 35. Do you understand? So let me impute it from the chest line. It is the same thing as imputing it from here. So 35 divided by is going to be how many? 8 3/4 bar. 35 divided by 4 is 8 3/4. So make sure you mark out 8 3/4. Then impute your body measurement. Please, you can use from 2 inches to 3 inches. Do you understand? Remember, if you need enough, if it is not enough on the pattern paper, you can still add when you are placing it on your material. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using 2 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay. So this is it. It's just like the same thing as this. Do you understand? Okay, so let's now impute our underbust or the waistline. Please, whichever place you impute, whichever place you use to form your shape is very, very okay by me. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm going to be imputing on all of them. So let's do that, guys. Now let's impute at the. Now look at it. From here, the underbust is 20. The underbust is 30. Underbust circumference, that is 7.5. Are you seeing it? Remember, you need to replace this 2 inches that is here. That is extra 2 inches, and you need to impute your 2 inches allowance. But that is how many? Look at it. Remember, I used 2 inches, so it's still the same 2 inches I'm using. So now let's do the same thing at the waist length. The waist length is 29. That is 7 1/4. Are you saying it? Plus extra what? 4 inches. Are you saying it? Okay. Then here, which is the blouse hip, is how many? 36, which is 9 inches. Are you saying it? Then plus how many? 4 inches. So if you guys know where the 4 is coming from, the 4 is coming from 2 inches here and 2 inches extra. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is to use our rule to connect all of them. Now look at it. Let's connect. Are you seeing it? Then you connect this side. So you can either connect this side with your straight rule or with your curve, whichever one. Do you understand? With your straight rule or with your curve. Nonsense. Let me hold it. Okay. Okay, so as you guys can see, look at it here. Are you seeing it? Okay, so what next are we going to be doing now? Let's just give it a curve. Do you understand? Let's just give it, based on it is just a normal blouse, so let's give it a curve. So in order for you to give it a curve, next thing you need to do is to step up by 2 from here, which is exactly here. Then next thing is for you to connect it to this particular point. Do you understand? Okay, so look at it here. You can just keep it like this and connect. Are you guys seeing it? Is it hard? It's not hard in any way. Okay, so by me looking at this, you will notice that we are 100% done with the front part of our straight dart bustier. So guys, now that we are done with the drafting of the straight dart bustier, this is the front part. Are you seeing it? So next thing we need to do is to use our scissors and cut it out like this first. Now that we are done with the straight dart bustier, the front side, so all we have to do is to cut it out. Then after cutting it out, we now produce the back side. Do you understand? Okay, in order to cut it out, all you have to do is to release it here. When you release it, you can see the dart here. Are you seeing it? So let's cut it out, guys. Let's cut it out. So take your scissors and put it through this side and cut from the underbust, then shape it towards this side. Are you seeing it? Okay. Let me teach you guys something you have to do at this back. Look at it. Place it together while cutting it out. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Okay. You can now expand it back. See what we have there. Okay. Then make sure, as you can see, we are done with this side. Then make sure you do the same thing here. Are you seeing it? Okay, we are done with this side. One thing I want you to do that is compulsory for me and my students is I always tell them to notch the underbust, because when you start sewing, when you start sewing, you're supposed to be from this underbust, then you go up, then you come back here from here. The essence of doing it is to make sure that you get it accurately. So you can see this is it. Are you seeing it? So when you want to couple, it's actually from here down to this side. Are you seeing it? Now look at it here. Okay, this is it here. Then the moment you now sew it, and you will now see that this thing will now become a bust here. Do you understand? Okay, so let's use it and cut the back part. So in order to cut the back part, all you have to do, if you are to put a zip, do you understand? If you have to put a zip, all you have to do is to mark out your zipper allowance. If you are not putting a zip, make sure you keep marking out these 2 inches for zipper allowance. Do you understand? Okay. Okay, so now after you are done marking it out, next thing I want you to do is to get the front which you have cut. Are you seeing it? Get it. Take this one and place it here. Are you seeing it? One thing I would advise you, just make sure you add extra allowance here. Like, don't place it this way. Do you understand? Place it this way. Okay, why are you doing this? Because when you place this one, you see that this one Are you seeing it? But when you place it like this, both of them, this one will not have to skip here. Okay, so look at it. Then use your pin and hold it firm. So now after that, next thing you need to do, look at it, it's very simple. Next thing you need to do is to place it like this. See, your work is just to make sure that these two places are equal. Do you understand? Equal as the front. Now skip the what do we call it, the bust, because the back does not have a bust. Do you understand? Is it well understood? Okay, just place it this way. Look at it. As you can see, it still has a dart. Do you understand? But not as big as the front dart, because the front that is that big because of the bust here. Now look at it. Make sure that these two places are equal. It's compulsory that they are equal. Please note that. Make sure that your under bust too, they are equal. Is it hard making the back? It's not hard. But when I see some of you trying to make it, it's as if it's kind of complicated something. Look at it. Are you seeing it? It's not hard in any way. So all you have to do is to cut. For you to cut it out, you also have to extend your line this way. Out. Then before we cut out this side, there's something I really want you to do. I want you to put an effect here. We call it the back effect or the center back dart. Do you understand? The work of the center back dart is to make sure that your back side, you guys already know that the back side is not as straight as this. Do you understand? Yes, it has fitting. So we have to put a dart here to make sure that when you wear your dress, to be relaxing, to not be puffing. So in order to do that, look at it. From this underbust, mark a line this way. Are you seeing it? So from here, you look at it. From here, look at it. You can mark 1/2 inch or 3/4, depending on the allowance which you use here. Now, if you use 2 inches here, you can just go ahead to use 1/2 inch. But if you use 2.5 inches, you can go ahead to use what? 3/4. But for you to really know exactly what to put here is dependent on the customer, the person's back. You guys already know that some persons, their back is so squeezed, like, is, how do I say it? Their back is not as folded as other people's back. Some person's back looks as if it's almost straight but not straight. Do you understand? Why some person's back has enough dart, like you're supposed to use enough dart on it. Do you understand? But for the sake of this particular tutorial, just know that if you have 2 inches here, just use 1/2 inch. If you have 2.5, just use how many? 3/4. So I'm going to be using 1/2 inch here. Are you seeing it? So next thing we are going to be doing now is, look at it. From here, just create a dart. Take it and place like this. Let it gradually go down this way. Are you seeing it? Okay, the same thing to this particular one. Let it gradually go up and then rest at the edge of the material. Are you seeing it? Okay, so when you are done, next thing you need to do is to cut it off. But please guys, I want you to know something. Cutting it like this doesn't automatically make your dress to be okay at the back. It is when you are coupling it, that is when the real work comes in. Do you understand? So just know this one is just for drafting sake for now. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing is cutting out the back neck. So you need to ask yourself, what's your back neck side? Do you understand? If it is exactly as this one, we'll now go ahead and do the same thing here. Do you understand? So depending on the type of back neck you want. So which one are we going to be using here? Which one are we going to be using here? If people are not contributing me, I will just not be serious with this class. No, I mean, which style of neck do you people want to use at the back? Is it the same thing as this, or is it V-neck, or is it which one? The same thing, V-neck. Okay. So for those that want V-neck at the back, it's very simple. What are you going to be doing to it? First of all, the neck width is here. Are you seeing it? So you need to ask yourself, what is the depth of the V-neck which you are using? So let's say the depth of the V-neck I want to use is 8 inches. Are you seeing it? 8. So mark it out here. So next thing you need to do is, you need to now mark it out. Look at it. Are you seeing it? You can go ahead and use your rule to mark out the V-neck, or use your hand to get a V-neck that is looking curved. Are you seeing it? Okay, so at the end of the day, I will use my scissors and then cut it out. Are you seeing it? This way. Have you people seen that I've done the back? Okay, so the next thing you need to do is to continue your cutting. Now separate the darts. Now this part is very, very important. Extremely important for you to look at it and pay attention. So when you get to this point, look at it. When you get to this point, are you seeing it? Try to see there's something I really want to let you know. Place your material this way. I'm placing it in a way that will be okay. Now let's say here, this one started from here. Are you seeing it? Connect it down. See, connect it down to here, both of them. Now look at it. do this one like this. Are you seeing it? Do it like this. Now look, see the points. Help me, somebody should help me and hold this here. Okay, now look at it. From here I'm connecting it down to here. Are you seeing it? Then from here, from that same point, I'm connecting it down to here. Are you seeing it? So it means that if I'm cutting it out, it should be something like this. Are you seeing it? Why this one should be something like this? Are you seeing it? Now, as you can see, there is no bust at the back, and it still has its own dart. Are you seeing it? There is no bust, and it still has its own dart, looking very relaxed and okay. So that is how to draft a straight dart bustier in a way that you are going to have both the neck and everything successfully. Now, also remember, we have not removed the armhole effect. Remember, armhole effect is only done at the front, not at the back. So now you are done drafting everything. Next thing you need to do is to remove this particular one. Are you seeing it? Okay, so look at it here. This is the front part and the back part all together. Let me remove the pin so as for you guys to see it very, very well. Okay, so look at it. This is the front part. Are we seeing it? This is the front part. So where is the back part? Look at it. This is the back part. Are you seeing it? Look at it. Look at the back dart here. Are you seeing it? Is that clear? Okay, so we are done with a straight dart bustier, the cutting part. Do you understand? So remaining the sewing part.
Welcome to the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide, a masterclass from C Fashion Academy in dressmaking with detailed instructions and expert advice. Embark on this journey to create your own piece. Unearth the enigmatic secrets of flawless dress cutting techniques. Imbue charm with your personal touch and unique creations, captivating undivided attention. Get bonus content from renowned fashion designers inside this guide, your craft to rival professional designs. Access the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide anytime, anywhere. Discover a world of fashion at your fingertips. Just a click away, your dreams await. Get an early bird discount on the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide. Embrace creativity, elegance, step into a world of creativity and elegance. Unleash your sewing prowess, harness your creativity, ignite your imagination, design, stitch and craft. Make something extraordinary. WhatsApp us now for yours, +2 347 030 445 028. God bless you all.